Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of Fly Plus Football's First and Goal podcast. I'm FPF Hall of Famer Brent Bodkin,
And I'm Quaysie Maule.
seven-time All-Star Quiddy Gordon. Come on,
Seven-time
now.
All-Star.
You gotta give yourself some props.
So I'm being humble.
All right, all right. So everyone, what's going on? Again, welcome to the episode. A lot of things going on. We have the juice. We have two special guests coming up. Uh, Two amazing people that have been in the league for a long time, former All Stars. A little bit of Olympic experience for one. So really looking forward to that. We don't want to blow the surprise right now. No spoilers yet, but again, two amazing guests coming on the podcast over the next hour and a half to 2 hours that we're going to be here. So let's hop into it. You want to go Division A first, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, we can do Division. We start with Division A, or we could go back to we go F. Depends. I don't mind.
Okay.
You choose.
I have my computer set on Division A right now, so
Okay.
let's,
So,
let's hop over to Division A. Actually,
Division
so I want to, yeah. So, but while you're setting that up, there's a team on a bit of a two-game winning streak right now. They started off 0-3. They've won two in a row. I'm talking about Quaysie's team, the Infantry. Maybe that's someone from the Infantry at his doorbell. I don't know. Ringing the doorbell, I should say.
yeah.
So
Sorry. One
Infantry.
second.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I'll keep on going here. So the Infantry, two big wins. Recently, like I said, they started off 0-3. Again, two W's. Just looking at it right here, they're actually so. Let me just get to who they played. My apologies. I had that in my notes, and now I'm looking at it and I can't find it. Live, I was gonna say live TV, but live streaming, if you will, live podcast. Usually a good thing. Sometimes when you can't read your own writing, sometimes and you forget to put something that you thought you wrote down, not always a good thing, but whatever. Here we go. They beat the Vultures, 36-30, last Sunday. Pardon me, 2 Sundays ago. Speaking of the infantry, and then they ran their win streak to two in a row with the win in Laval last Sunday, so June 22nd, over one stop. So again, like I said, infantry started off 0-3, losing to the Braves, losing to one stop in the first regular season meeting, and then losing to the Party Crashers. So again, 0-3, they've rebounded with two big wins again against Vultures, and as I said, getting revenge against one stop. If one stop and infantry do battle a third time, it'll be in the playoffs if both teams qualify. We have some big games coming up in Laval. Idaho, you the Pimps taking on the infantry. So the infantry are going to be looking here to make it obviously 3 wins in a row. We're going to have to see if they can do that. Again, they're playing Friday against Idaho, you the Pimps. That's going to be in Laval. Actually, I'm going to be scorekeeping that game, so that should be a good one. And Sunday at Loyola, so in the morning I'll be there for that one as well. It's going to be the Party Crashers taking on the Vultures. So two big games in Division A this week. Again, Idaho Ute Pimps against Quaysie's Infantry, and then Party Crashers against the Vultures on Sunday at Loyola. So the question I was asking me before you had to go answer the door was, Infantry, you guys have a two-game winning streak. You had a bad start to the season, but again, two W's in a row. What has been the key to your success?
Well, I haven't been there for both the games,
Well, and that's the answer right there. There you go. No Quaysie, no problem.
but I just the team, the roster we have is good. We have a solid roster up and down. I believe Kevin Wilde. I don't think he was even there for the last game we won either. Or I don't think he was there for the last two games. I think Phil Cutler came in, helped us out there. But it just we're probably one. I would say we're probably one of the top three teams. The beginning of the season, we just didn't show it, and even now, like we're not even at our max potential of how good we could be. So we're now it's just coasting, and we're beating teams that we should beat. The games that we did lose, like we lost one versus the Braves. I believe we lost one versus one stop. Party
Yep.
Crashers destroyed us. I think it was the first one they got actually, but just we were just all not there. So I think the game that the two wins we just won, we beat Idaho and we beat One Stop. For those, no disrespect for those guys, but those are two teams that we should beat them. So I think right now is just we're coasting and we're on the good side of the ball when it comes down to getting the wins that we need to get.
All right. So, and like you said, you're right. Phil Cutler threw for you guys in that W over one stop, 35 to 24. But a bit of a change for one stops. Usually it's Matthew Caparelli,
Yes.
Mike Caparelli, pardon me, the throws. He wasn't actually in the lineup either. It was Demetrius Sinadinos, former McGill quarterback, actually. So he
Yeah.
was playing in that game, three TD passes for him, throwing to his former teammate at McGill, Charles Cossette, three TDs in that game. But again, you guys are able to get the W So like I said, so you're to make it three in a row. You guys have Idaho Utah Pimps coming up. Again, like I said, that's going to be Friday
Friday.
night in Laval. So what do you think? A, are you going to be there for that game? And B, like, what do you think are the keys to getting the W to extend your win streak?
To be determined if I'm going to be there.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, to be determined if I'm going to be there. But again, the amount of guys we have enough. We have enough talent. We have enough talent across the board. Plus, we have Kevin Wyeth. He's gonna be there. I know that to actually take care of business. But we just have to. Everyone has to be on the same role. We can't do too much. You can't do too little. Just do your job, and we should be able to get a win. We should be able to get a win. We should be able to get the win on
Okay.
Friday against Idaho because they're a solid group of team. It's just I think we have more talent and more experience on our side. They're a new team as well. They're usually a team that's in Division B or Division
Yeah.
Two, so they made that big jump. I just don't think they have enough talent wise across the board to be able to beat a team like us.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's hop over to Division B.
I just
So, sorry,
so
no, go,
before
go,
you just
go.
go, I just wanted to give a shout out to Vultures.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we talked about them while I was when going out the door, but they're pretty good. They're at a 3-2 record. Benny made a jump. If you check their roster as well, their roster is not the best. Coming going down the line, like you have some pretty big. You have some names, whatever. You have Ryan Perry, that's a veteran.
Yeah.
Then you have Ben, and then you have pretty much have AJ are the three guys. I would say those are the top three guys. And the fact that they're right now they're positive going into the season. They're 3-2. They beat the Jamiesons, which is a huge
Hmm.
win. They did lose against us. They beat Idaho, they beat the Jamiesons twice. So they had two big wins versus the Jamieson, and they beat Idaho. So the fact that they're 3-2 because they easily could have been 0-5, like a party crashers that are 1-4 right now. So the fact that they're 3-2 going into Division A and Benny made that big jump, it's a big shout out to them.
Yeah, I had a chance actually to watch their game against the Jamesons. I had a game at Mary Vic an hour earlier, so my game was wrapping up. Their game was starting, and yeah, they really came together, made some big plays. They forced Jeff Rosenblatt, obviously the quarterback for the Jamesons, into a couple costly interceptions there, and yeah, they got the victory. So they again, yeah, like I said, the Vultures, one of the top teams here. Despite you talk about right, you said the roster might not be as impressive as compared to some other teams, but they're putting it together. And my apologies. So I'm looking here. So it says that Jeff Rosenblatt did not throw an interception. I remember seeing him throw one. He even told me he threw one as well. But
Mm.
either or, they got the W being the Vultures. So congrats to
Yeah,
them.
and again, as we were saying, like they're a team that's their Vulture started in Division. They still kind of have some teams in Division C. Depends
Yeah.
how Benny kind of how he organizes rosters
Mhm.
and his friends and stuff like that. But they're a team that started in Division D. I want to say is the fact that Benny's throwing in Division A and he kind of jumped up to he kind of stepped up and said, I'm good enough to play Division A. Let me try to
Yeah.
get a roster around me.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm sure they're pretty happy right now that they're 3-2 going into the mid of the season for them. So,
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. All
but yeah,
right.
okay. So we'll go Division B.
So there's a certain team. So I was scorekeeping Saturday and Sunday at Loyola, and there's a certain team that had a bone to pick with you, my friend. And that team is Poseidon's Kiss.
Mm,
They had a bone to pick with you. So their captain Evan Vavinis, I was talking to him about Juan Echo, Rocco Cristiano, a lot of the boys. And they were all like, I don't know, man. So they said that you picked him to finish 3-8. And I was like, 3-8. I was like, wait a second here. There's 10 regular season games. Doesn't make any sense. They're like, exactly. He picked us to finish 3-8. And he goes,
I definitely did not say 3-8. I would love to see the clip back of me saying 3-8. That's for sure. Maybe 3-7. That's
that
that's
makes more
more
sense to me.
realistic.
Yeah,
But I don't think
that's
I
what I
would put
thought.
this. I don't think I would have put them 3-7. I probably said they probably would have went 5-5. They're gonna make me go back into the clips, and
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go and see what I actually said.
Yeah, they were adamant. They told me about it Saturday. They told me about it all day Sunday. And so credit to them. All jokes aside, they stayed undefeated. They're 5-0, two big wins. They had a comeback victory over Shake and Bake on Saturday. Less than 24 hours later, another comeback victory over Idaho. Ida Pimps. I actually asked all those guys to come on the show. I asked Evan, I asked Joanne, I asked a bunch of the guys. No one wanted to volunteer. No one wanted to volunteer to come on the show. So I'm gonna call you guys up beside this Kiss. You guys are all good guys. I know a lot of you on the team. One of you guys come on to the show and talk that trash at Quaysie because there's a lot of darts, a lot of arrows being thrown Quaysie's way. on the sidelines at Loyola. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Now I'm curious to know if what I actually said. I feel like I said they were gonna go 5-5 though. I'm not. Like it's still they're playing Division B. I would be surprised that they went 3-7 is kind of a shot by me, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Well,
I'm gonna have to go back and see what I actually said.
all right. Well, they have a chance to make it 6-0. They're taking on Sound Ticklers, so that should be a good matchup. This coming Saturday at Loyola, 10 a.m. game. So that's anyone has a chance, make sure you go and watch that game. It should be a shootout between two powerful teams. Again, Sound Ticklers and Poseidon's Kiss. Uh, Division C.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Brent, I sent you a message
Okay.
under
Cool.
the thing.
All right. And my phone is not next to me. All
No,
right.
no, no. And on our chat,
Oh,
in our
okay,
chat.
okay, okay, okay. Okay, I see. My bad. All right, fair enough. Yeah, we have our special guest coming up now. It is the one and the only, the magnificent, fantastic player, even better person. It is Lory Oullette. Lory, thank you for coming. Actually, hold on. Let me slow myself down here. All star and a four-time champion. Gotta throw the proper respect on her name. Lory Ouellette, thank you for joining the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, so let's hop into it. A lot of big things going on in FPF, specifically for you, obviously. Your team, the Merge and Co-Ed One. Let me ask you. Uh, One of the standard questions I ask all the guests on the show is how did you get involved in FPF?
Honestly, I started off as like a one person. Like I signed up individually. I got recruited by Alexis Dubois. That's when I started playing on the mixed co-ed teams. It was in 2022, and that's pretty much how I started. I made the practice. I got recruited, and from then on, I've been playing for every season.
Okay, so is it safe to say like as soon as you started playing, like you got hooked?
Oh, 100%. I love flag football. I played since like I was 14 years old, so almost, well, 9 years. So after COVID, I wanted to get back into it, and when I found the league, I was like, why not go ahead and do it?
Okay, nice, nice. Okay, yeah, so you talked about, yeah, 2002, your rookie season with Easy Fun, right? That's the team you were on,
Yes,
or
and
your first
it's
team.
my end zone, I think, code 2, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at your bio right now. So there's obviously you mentioned Alexi Dubois, right? So Alexi and Iggy, shout out to Iggy.
Yes.
There's Kiss My End Zone, Kiss My Outlaws, Kiss My Christmas Balls. Am I missing any other Kiss names?
There's a lot. I did
All right.
pretty
So
much every season I've been with Alexi, so he's been my guy every season.
okay, I think I actually know Kiss My Hugs is one I miss as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of experience. Okay, okay. Um, when you look back at 2022, your rookie season, obviously now 2025, only 3 years later, you played for a ton of teams. To your
Yeah.
credit, right? You've done obviously women's, you've done multiple co-ed teams. What keeps you coming back every year?
The sport, the league, it's so fun playing in FPF. I love it. Everything about it is amazing. I started off strong with the when I started, I was with Iggy, with Alexi, I was Mo, Peas, and everything. It was a really fun group, and I got to know like pretty much everyone. I did a lot of social media work with Chris, and a lot of I was really involved with FPF. So the fact that I could help the league and just continue with it on, it just got me hooked, and I came back every season. I love the sport, so why not stay with FPF?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Your profile is pretty impressive as well, right? So you're a one-time All-Star and you have 4 championships. Your win rate is pretty high. You have 129 wins and 56 losses. So you're in positive from that. So it's pretty impressive. A lot of people that don't even have you've been in the league for 3 years. You'd say from 2022, right, to
Yeah.
2025. So about almost we're going on for 4 years. You already have 4 championships. There's some people that's been in the league since
Forever.
forever and they don't even have 1 championship. As examples, Jeff. I think Jeff has 1 championship in the last like 15 years.
As a snapper, not
Yeah,
a quarterback.
exactly. So it's pretty
Really?
impressive. Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize like, oh, I have 4 championships, but still, some people like they continue playing to get 1 championship. Like, okay, I'm gonna get 1 championship and I'm done playing, but it just
No, like I want to get more and more, so I'm here to stay.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So I heard through the grapevine. So you talked about playing football since you were 14 years old. I heard through the grapevine it was your birthday last week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, on Saturday.
Okay. Nice. So happy belated birthday. How old are you?
I'm 23.
So, wow. 23. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a youngster.
Okay. So credit to you. I not to say you look old. I'm just saying I thought you were a couple years older. So
All good. You're not
credit
the
to.
only one. You're not the first one.
Okay. All right. What did you do for your birthday? What was your
I had a
celebration?
pool party with my family, pretty
Okay.
relaxed and easy. Or else I went out with friends on Friday night, so took it easy.
Okay. Okay. You stayed out of trouble
Yes.
Friday? You sure about that? You went out with some friends. I don't know.
I'm not here.
All right. All right. Okay. So again, so Quaysie was talking about like all the teams you played on. You sub for a lot of different teams as well. So obviously, I mean, I guess you're pretty much available. Like if someone asks you to play, you're pretty much. It seems to be that you're always down. One thing I've noticed, like I've seen you play over the last couple of seasons. Obviously, being a scorekeeper and playing games, sometimes you play after me or before me, whatever the case may be. I noticed like you have really great hands. Like you run sharp routes when the ball comes your way, you almost never drop it. I had a chance to score keeping this weekend at Loyola, and you were playing with the Merge. Your team and co had won, and I was just looking over. I remember I think I had talked to you either before your game or after your game to confirm for the podcast this week, and I was just like, you're always smiling, you're always happy. But you're also always like you come up in the clutch. Your team needs a big play, and for all the teams you played on, I noticed when the team needs a play, they go in your direction. Can you just speak to kind of how you've developed kind of that clutch gene and why quarterbacks are so comfortable throwing the ball to you?
Honestly, I think with practice and on the main thing is getting a connection with the cute quarterback. So right now, Marc-Andre Reeves, I think just the fact that he knows I could do my routes and I could do them well, and I have like an IQ of flag football. I know how to get open or whatever. Like, and he can trust me also with the ball. So just the fact that I can have a connection and build a connection with him over the season makes him trust me a little bit more. So in clutch moments like on fourth down or whatever, I know that if ever he needs someone, I could be like an option that he could throw to and trust. And honestly, good hands. I think it's just practice with years. I've been so like minded and like coached in the past years that like I need to catch and focus on the ball before like turning or whatever, because that was my main problem before. I used to turn before catching the ball, so I would drop a lot of balls before. So I just got in the mindset of like catch the ball and then do what needs to be done, like dips or anything. So it's honestly with practice I came up with this.
Okay, okay, nice. Practice makes perfect.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
If you had to improve in one thing regarding flag,
It's bugging. I didn't hear. Sorry.
okay, it should be better now. Can you hear me now?
I mean, it's
Yeah,
but
Is it me?
okay. Now I
I'm
can
not
hear
sure I
you
can hear.
good now.
Okay. All right. Sorry. So if you had to improve in one thing in flag, what do you think it would be? Like, what would it be?
If I had to improve, it would be well. I know I could get my routes to be sharper, that's for sure. But also one thing I'm keep on trying to build and everything is after I catch the ball, like the movements, the dips, or like the twists that I could do after catching the ball to gain more yards.
Okay. So
So
like yak, more
the
yak
thing.
yards after
Yeah.
receiving. Okay.
Okay. Question, another football one. So you mentioned Marc Andre Reeves. So you play with Marc Andre Reeves. You play with Lexi Dubois. You play with Iggy. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Who's the best quarterback you've played with so far, or is there a quarterback that you've seen that you think is really good that you want to play with that you haven't had a chance to do so with yet?
I You're putting me on the spot.
hundred
Because
percent.
I play with Iggy and I play with Marc-Andre Reeves like most of my FPF years.
Okay.
And honestly, they're both so different. I've been there when Iggy started quarterback. I was there like it was his first season. It was my first season, so we got to build the connection together.
Hmm.
Honestly, I'm always gonna have a sweet spot for Iggy. He's my favorite one. He's been there since the beginning, but they're truly like different quarterbacks. If I would have to pick one, I can't. but they're so different and good. But if there's one QB I would like to play with, would be Jean Jean.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like I've played with him in another league, but not as a quarterback. But like I've seen him play on IG team and how he is, and he's very versatile.
Okay. Okay. Kind of like yourself. Okay, makes sense. All right. Um, in your time here in FPF, obviously again you have four championships. What's what has been like maybe your favorite moment or favorite game so far, or do you have or do you not have one?
Um, well, one thing that's memorable from FPF is I think for like 3 seasons when I played with Kiss My End Zone, and it was like a rivalry with IG team for like 3 consecutive seasons. It was always like one would lose in the playoffs or in the regular game, and then we would both end up in the finals. It was like back and forth. So for a couple seasons, it was like that, and it was kind of really fun. It was always a good matchup, always a good game, a close one also. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. So okay, you said you've been playing since you were 14 years old. What drew you to the game of football?
I'm sorry, what?
Like you've been playing flag football since the age of 14. Like, okay, have you been a football fan even before you started playing? And if so, like, what kind of attracted you to the game of football?
It was really random. It was in high school. We had a big group of friends, and like I know the guys were in the football team, and it was the first year there was a flag football team for women. And I remember one of my gym teachers, they asked me like, "Oh, you should try out and everything." So I went. I got chosen, and since then I got hooked on, and every year I went to go play with them and everything. So yeah, it was pretty much my group of friends in high school that got me going.
Okay, okay. And as you made that transition into FPF again, your first year being in 2022, when did like the light go on for you and you felt comfortable and you said to yourself, you know what, I can do this. You started making plays and you started to get that confidence. Like, when did that moment happen for you?
Before, like I was young before, it was just for fun, but once I got into FPF and like I got to meet people and like create connections with everyone, and like honestly it's the positive comments from everyone coming up to me and saying like, oh, like you're good, and like positive things that they would say would like build my confidence, and it would make me want to get better with time. So it's really the FPF community who's helped me.
Okay. What okay, so move away from football for a second here. So what do you like when you have some downtime? Like what do you like to do? What is like an off day look like for Lory?
An off day. Honestly, if it's pretty outside, I'm gonna be outside tanning, reading a book. I'm doing going to the gym often also, so it's pretty relaxed. Not much. Or I have a lot of practices with the football friends here and there. It's really, yeah, getting
Okay, okay,
active.
okay, nice, nice. Question: how tall are you?
4,
5'4"?
5'4".
Okay, so 5'4". Okay, it's perfect. So as people that are vertically challenged, like you and Quaysie and I want to ask you. So playing flag, right? Um, People come in all shapes and sizes, but how do you kind of use your low center of gravity to your advantage?
I mean, since we're not the tallest, I think it's just like getting low. The tall people can't get you when you dip or anything, so just trying to get those hips moving. It's harder for them to catch the flag and everything. So I use that to my advantage because I know I'm not the tallest and there's a lot of tall people. But offensively, that would be that. Defensively, if I'm put against someone who's tall, I'm gonna get a jump ball every time. So
Okay, okay. I was gonna say I'm looking at your stats, right? You have 10 ints, you have almost 30 pass deflections, you have 20 sacks. So I'm pretty it's pretty safe to say that despite you not being like you only being 5'4", you still able to make plays on both sides of the ball.
yeah,
Okay.
it's difficult
Um.
to be short in the flag world.
Okay. All right. In terms of so obviously right now with the Olympics coming up, right? There was a tournament that just took place in LA in California this past weekend with the men's teams and the women's teams. So potentially maybe not 2028 in LA, but maybe 2032, or are the Olympics something maybe you have on your checklist of things maybe you want to accomplish down the road?
Honestly, it would be a dream to be on the Olympic team or like represent Canada in the Olympics. I would have to work really hard to get there because I know there's a lot of good athletes out there. Right now, the girls on Team Canada, they deserve it. They're so good. So I know like what level I have to get to be part of that. But it's gonna be a lot of work if I want to get there. So it would be a dream.
Okay, okay.
So going on to the competition that just happened to LA, we are currently having a competition that's going to be happening in the next 2 weeks. I want to say it's the Canada Seniors. Are you going to be participating in it?
Yes, I had two teams originally. I had a mixed team, a co-ed team, which was amazing. But unfortunately, we were the only one who got well, who qui nous a inscrits. So we were the only
Okay.
team on the roster. No one else
Wow.
was there. I
That's,
know.
that's unfortunate.
So it got canceled for the co-ed team, but thankfully I got invited to join a team in the women's division. So I'm
Okay.
pretty excited about that. It's a good team. There's gonna be a lot of other good teams also, so it's gonna be a challenge.
Is that the
Okay.
biggest? Do you think that's going to be the biggest competition you're going to be competing in since you've been playing flag?
I think so because from what I heard, I think Team Canada, the women team, is gonna be there also. So like that's the people I look up to and like I want to get there one day. So obviously playing against that level of talent is really gonna like make me realize, oh, okay, where I need to go to step up my
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Exactly. So I completely understand. It's like it's gonna be motivating to be able to play against those girls and be like trying to make a play against them or making a play against them. Like okay, I could do this. So
It's gonna be like an eye opening.
yeah, for sure. It's unfortunate there's only one mix. This is fortunate there's only one mixed team. I saw that they had like 40 teams signed up, so I figured, um,
Co-ed division.
yeah, exactly. I figured okay, well maybe 5 or 6 teams in the co because they're supposed to have like an event on Friday, right? So I was actually looking at it, and the fact that you told me now there's only one team that signed up, that kind of sucks.
We got a refund and everything. It's sad because we would have loved to participate in it because it was the first time I
Yeah.
think the Canadian Championships had a co-ed division.
Hmm.
So it would have been fun, but maybe next year or the year after.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So speaking about that, so let me ask you, obviously, with women's divisions and men's divisions, and not just tournaments, but specifically in FPF, you play in both, right? Like I talked about earlier, you play in women's divisions, you play in co-ed and FPF. Which division do you find more challenging, and which one do you enjoy playing in more?
Um, for a long time, I would have said mix, like the 6v6.
Mhm.
But over the years, when I got to play with the women and the women division and the 5v5, I enjoy it more. I think the 5v5 is a little bit more challenging because the field is smaller and it's very strategic. So you need to get your plays in to make some scores. So yeah, it would be 5v5 right now.
If
Okay.
if they brought 5v5 to co-ed, is that something you'd be interested in?
100%. I love
Okay.
the 5v5 segment.
Okay, because I know a lot of places in 5v5. I think there's a lot of places that play 5v5 for co-ed, and it's again, it's three. They do 3 males and 2 females, but it's more based outside of Canada, like in the US as well. So when you go to tournaments and stuff in the US, when there's 5-on-5, they don't really have 6-on-6. It's all 5-on-5. So they do have that type of segment. So it's like kind of something
Common,
that's
I think,
that's.
5, right?
Sorry.
It's more common the 5v5.
Yeah, exactly. 5-on-5, 3 females. Oh, sorry, 3 males and 2 females. Also, getting back to that, do you like the fact that they changed the co-ed rule for 6v6, that it's 3 females and 3 males now, instead of being 4 males and 2 females?
Yeah, I mean, yes, like I don't mind it because at the end of the day, I think co-ed is the female makes co-ed. Like the females make a difference in co-ed. Like if you have good women, you can go really far. But it's just makes it even. Three girls,
Yeah.
3 guys on the field, and just makes it equal.
Yeah, well, I talked to a few people and they said the biggest issue when it came to 4 guys and 2 females, like you didn't have to use the females as much. So if your females weren't that good, you're able to kind of like get by it. But the fact now it's 3-3, like you need to make sure you need to your females have to be decent or they have to be good to actually
To
be able to win a
include
championship.
the girls even more.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
So
usually before, like if you only had two girls, movies would not usually use the girls a lot, and that kind of sucks for the girls paying to play.
yeah,
But now it's more equal. Like you have, there's a better chance of getting the ball.
yeah, I know. Way better chance. I know a lot of females, a lot of girls actually complain about it. They're like, oh, I'm not getting the ball. Like they don't even need me here, and it's kind of like the fact where, yeah, but now the fact it's like you need to throw them the ball, all right? So you need to have ball make. You have to have playmakers that actually.
QB also that you play with. Like I know some QBs mainly use their girls, which is awesome, and others would normally don't. So it was mostly for the guys.
Another question: do you think they should maybe change the rules?
Wait,
So,
it bugged.
say the question again, Quaysie.
All right. Do you think they should maybe change the rules when it comes to co-ed? I know in some places they give more points for females scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about that. Like I feel like it would include the woman more, but at the end of the day, I don't know. It's a mixed emotions. Like I know tournaments they do that, or like in other leagues, you need a pass to the girl to get the first down,
Yeah,
which I think those kind of rules are for teams who don't really use their girls, and it will force them to use it. But I think in FPF, most of the QBs, see, you go and get girls, you want to play with them, you're gonna trust them and throw them the ball.
yeah, for sure. I was just curious to know. I know some teams are like, oh, a girl's touchdown is like worth 8 points compared to a guy's worth 6. So like you kind of strategize.
So I don't know.
Okay. Speaking of like kind of building off what Quasey's asking you, um, when it comes to distributing the ball evenly, right? Because again, like I remember at the beginning of co-ed, like you guys are saying, right? A lot of females would just be asked to run routes, and the quarterback would never look in the direction. That's changed. A lot of change in a positive direction. Like girls like yourself, right? Showing that they can ball, showing that they can play. But like for all like the skeptics out there, like all the people who are still living underneath the rocks, they think, oh, girls playing football. I mean, I guess we'll have them play or whatever. What do you want to say to all those people that think that maybe girls can't keep up or can't do just as good as the guys playing football?
Honestly, we can play just as good as guys. And see, it's not because we're females that obviously we could be like less faster and everything, but at the end of the day, we can make good plays also. Like it's not because we're girls that we can't play the same.
What's that shirt you have or the team that you have? What's it called? What's the team name? It's like girls could do it too, or what?
Girls can too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we could do it all.
100%, 100%. Okay. Let me ask you. So, moving away from football, like, what other sports do you play, or do you like growing up? Did you play other sports, or is just like you're strictly all about football?
Uh, it was mainly football, but I do. I was not like in like sports teams outside of school, but like in school I would touch everything. I would play basketball, like
Okay.
everything. But mostly like team outside of school, it was always flag football.
Okay. Growing up, who are some of your favorite athletes, or even today?
Well, today I like my Chiefs. I've been following them for a couple years,
God.
so don't call me a bandwagon.
Since when? Yeah, since when? The last like 3 4 years, you been a Chiefs fan, or
I've said the same thing to everyone, and after I say it, you'll understand. I've
okay.
started to watch the NFL and follow the Chiefs since Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, a Montreal
Okay.
player,
Okay. Yeah.
used to
Yeah. Yeah.
play with
From
them.
McGill. Yeah. Yeah.
So I was following him on Instagram and I saw that he played for the Chiefs and I was supporting him. So that's when I started to follow the Chiefs.
It's 2017,
Okay.
I think.
The
Yeah.
what?
Well, yeah. More or
I think
less.
it's
Yeah.
2017 when you got drafted.
They won the
Because I
Super
know
Bowl in
during COVID, like
2017.
he moved away
Yeah,
from football and he was more in Montreal for
Yeah.
the
I think
Dolphins
it's
side of it.
2017 when we got drafted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple
Something
years.
like that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you're still a Chiefs fan. Is Patrick Mahomes the best quarterback in the game, or you think somebody else? Or
Oh,
maybe
I
that's a
mean,
dumb question.
I like my Patrick Mahomes, but I know they're all good. There's Lamar Jackson and everything, so
Okay. Okay. You know what? Actually, interesting question. If you had to take NFL players and compare them to CFL players, who would you
See you.
compare to CFL or CFL,
You mean
NFL, FPF?
okay?
Hold
Okay.
on. who Lori would you compare yourself to as like an NFL player, for example?
I would compare myself to.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I don't know. I don't have the speed or anything. I am not built like them, but I really don't know. Do you have an idea of who I would compare to?
I was gonna say honestly Tyreek Hill because you guys aren't the tallest, but you have enough speed. You always get open, and again you run really good routes and you have great hands. So I was thinking maybe Tyreek Hill,
I was
something like
I was
that.
gonna say Keenan Allen.
Yeah, yeah, it's possible too. Yeah, Keenan Allen's not a bad comp right there. Not a bad comp. Okay, okay. What about your current quarterback, Mark Andre Reeves? Who would you compare him to as an NFL quarterback?
Goodness. Uh, that's a good question. Honestly, because he runs a lot, but he makes the plays.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know all of the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Okay, all right, fair enough, fair
Sorry.
enough. Don't apologize. It's fine. It's fine. I was thinking you were gonna say maybe someone like Lamar Jackson or something like that. One of those scrambling
But
quarterbacks
I
like
think
Jalen
Lamar
Hurts.
runs more often, so that's why I didn't
Maybe
want to
Jalen
say it.
Hurts, guy who can run a little bit, but has a big enough arm
That's
to
it.
make all the
No,
throws.
I like Jalen Hurts. Yeah, I would compare
Okay.
Marc-André Reeves to that. They're
Okay.
similar in
Okay.
terms of QB style.
Okay. It's a couple more questions for you before we let you go. You played again on a lot of teams in the past and even now. Who would you say out of all the players you played with is the most underrated player?
Underrated. Mm, that's a good question. I think, honestly, all the girls that I played with in co-ed, some people underestimate them and they're underrated. They like right now MJ in my Vandal in my team.
Oh, Mary
She started
Joelle
I think
Fandel,
two
yeah.
seasons ago. She's awesome. She's
Yeah.
very good. I have nothing bad to say about her. She's amazing. She plays flag football and she used to play soccer as a goalie, so that's why she makes those catches and she throws herself on the ground.
Okay.
But she doesn't get
Okay.
enough recognition. Like, and she's amazing.
Okay, let me stop you right there. Quaysie and I brought her up a few episodes ago. You're talking about Mary Joelle Vandal, right? Number 99 on your team.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah. So I was actually talking about her. I was talking to Maule about her this past Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember which day it was at Loyola. Again, me and Quaysie have talked about it before. Playmaker. Any side of the ball you put her on, she's gonna make plays. Receiver, DB. I think I might have even seen her rush once. Like fantastic player.
She can do it
Okay,
all.
yeah, pretty much. So shout out to her. And shout out to you for giving her some love there. Okay. So you're saying so all the females in general you feel that you play with on the merge and all your other teams you feel they're the most underrated players that you played with.
100%. Like we all have our qualities and like we all have different things that we're better at. So like I know Sarah Maud, she has the speed, so she can get out there. But I feel like not every quarterback that she's played with maybe knows it or like uses it to their advantage. But like everyone has their own qualities that maybe QBs should reevaluate and use.
Okay. Who talks the most trash on any of your teams or at least this
Any of
season?
my teams?
Yeah, this season like the whether it's with Cayenne, if you subbed or the merge, like who talks the most trash out of all the players you played with?
Who's lost the, wait, repeat the question.
Like who's the biggest trash talker out of all the teammates that you've had?
Right now, this season, I think it would be Victor in my team on the merge. I feel he
Okay.
has a big mouth, but like we have to calm him down because he gets hyped up really fast. But he's awesome. He's a really nice guy. It's just like when it gets intense, like he knows how to step it up, you know?
Okay, yeah, Victor Boutin, right?
Yeah, but he's a sweetheart. It's just because
Okay.
like it's intense and like he's in the game. But when that happens, I don't know why like he plays better. He's more into it and like he's awesome. So I think it just helps him with the game.
Okay. Who when you obviously you play a lot of receiver, when you're lining up against somebody, who's the one person you love going head to head against? Maybe someone that brings the best out of you, someone that you just love going against all the time.
Honestly, it would be a lot of people. Everyone that I'm close with and I play against, like friends that I play against. I would say example, I played a couple games in the women's division, and over the years I play against either Sarah Maule or Coralie or like even Rachel Valliere, and every time I play against them, it's like it's a friendly game. Like it's fun to play against them. Like there's no hatred. Like we're there to have fun and everything. There's no trash talking. So any girls that I know, like guys that I'm close with, it's always fun. It's not like it's never a bad game.
Okay, okay. Uh, Final question for me. What would you say to all the females out there, all the young girls, all the ladies, your age or even older that maybe want to get into FPF or want to get into flag football but haven't done so yet? What would you say to them?
It would be it's so cliche, but like just go for it. It's so fun. Like once you get in there, there's so many opportunities that you could go from. Flag football is starting to grow bigger and bigger every year, so there's a lot of opportunities and doors that could open to you once you get in there, and it's a fun community. There's no it's fun. It's enjoyable. You have fun with your friends. You could play with your family. You could play with your friends. Anyone. It's always a good time.
All right, cool. Sounds good. All right, Lori. Just want to say thank you for coming on. We really appreciate you taking the time to come on with us and share a bit of your story, share your love for flag football, and obviously FPF. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. It was really fun.
All right, we'll see you soon, and good luck. I don't know when you're playing next, but good luck this weekend.
Yeah, I think she plays tonight. I'm pretty
You
sure she
play
plays
tonight?
tonight.
Yeah, I'm
Ah,
playing tonight. I have one in Laval at 10.
but I'll see you
Aren't
then.
you,
I'm playing
Quaysie?
tonight.
Sorry?
Aren't you with
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of?
but I'm not playing tonight.
Quaysie on the show.
It's okay.
Okay, all right, all right. I'll probably catch you. I'm playing in Lavelle at like 7. I don't know if I'll be there at 10, but if I end up staying around, I'll see what's up.
I'll see you guys on the field most of the time. So
Yeah, eventually.
yes,
All right,
perfect. Well, take care, guys.
all right.
All right.
Thanks, Lori.
Bye bye.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so that was Lory Ouellette, former All Star, 4-time champion, to join us here on the FPF First and Goal podcast. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool, man. She answers a lot of questions. I kind of I got her shaking a little bit when I asked her Iggy to Mark Andre. I'm glad I asked that one because
Yeah,
I
well, the
was I
thing
was
is,
curious to see.
it's like, okay, Mark has better fundamentals than Iggy because he's a true quarterback. He's played
Yeah,
quarterback, but Iggy has that flag aspect in it, like the
right,
play calling
right.
he understands more. So it's kind of like hard to choose. Because even me too, I'd be like, in my head, I'm like, oh, Mark for sure. But then if you look at it like more deep into flag, you're kind of like, okay, wait, Iggy knows what he's doing and he kind of understands the concept. He understands the time management. He knows exactly what to do. Compared to Mark, I think Mark is kind of getting into it a bit more. Whatever he's I think he's more new to it. So like it becomes like that, and then again, you don't need the best arm to play flag. And we see that
Sure.
multiple times, right? We've seen that with multiple quarterbacks where you don't have to be the top gun slinger or whatever. It does help to certain cases when you have to get a ball into certain spots. But sometimes you also have those floaters or those cross arms or those the famous no look by Iggy where he
Yeah.
perfected it to a point where he's because the famous no look he's looking literally right throws completely left. So it's just little stuff like that where it brings up his game compared to someone that's actually like a true fundamental quarterback.
I hear you. I hear you. I've played against both of them. I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna say Marc Andre, and listen, athletic wise, Iggy doesn't run. A Marc Andre could cut on a dime. That I'm not even
Mm-hmm.
worried about that. I'm talking about in the terms of so you are right. Like Iggy has in terms of fundamentals, Iggy's more nuanced in the game. I think he's more of a I don't want to say more of a natural quarterback, but he kind of beat you. He beat you a bit with his arm, but more of his mind, right? His play
Yeah,
calling and all that stuff. Whereas Marc Andre Reeves
he moves you
relies
where
a
he
lot on
wants to move you.
athleticism. Yeah, that's it. Whereas Marc Andre Reeves, he can just move you physically because he'll run all over the place and get you off balance, and he'll make. I like I like Marc Andre Reeves more because he can kind of make those throws off his back foot. He can make those cross body throws because he uses a lot of his athleticism, pardon me, to get the ball downfield. I'm all 1 against Marc Andre. I'm 1-0 against Iggy. That's also kind of why I'm saying that. But
Well,
They're both good, both
I
good
have a question
quarterbacks.
for you, right? So let's
Yeah,
just say you have Mark and Iggy both together. Let's pretend you have the best rusher
yeah,
where it removes the ability for Mark to run,
right.
right? Are you taking Mark in that situation with his ability not to be able to do the stuff that he usually does? Because
True.
Mark's gets, like, to be on, like, even I see it when he's able to use his legs, he's a deeper threat because defensive wise you have to figure the run. If you don't have a good rusher, you're in for a
Yeah, it's
long
a long
game.
night. Yeah, yeah, for
But
sure,
if you're
for sure.
able to take away his run, I feel like his play calling is not there as much because you can see it when usually quarterbacks when they're running is because they don't have anything that's there. Mark probably runs maybe 5 to 6 times per game. I would say I would like, or he scrambles out because there's something there. When you have a decent rusher or a good rusher, where it comes to a point if you're scrambling out, you're gonna get sacked. So let's just say in a magical world, if we have a rusher where he's able to contain Mark to the point where he's not able to run, would you rather have Mark in that situation, or would you rather have the mind of Iggy, where he doesn't need to use his legs and he's able to kind of just move things where he wants? We was able to move defenses where he wants to put them.
Right. I'm still gonna take Marc Andre for the simple reason that on first glance it looks like Marc Andre Reeves is gonna run a lot. Like I'm looking right now at his stats from in Division B. Right, he has 9 carries for 94 yards, so he's averaging 10 yards a rush. He's averaging less than 2 runs a game, right? So he's not really running that much. He's
Yeah,
usually
but what I'm saying is, like, he doesn't. Okay, sorry. When I mean run attempts, I mean attempts where he's going to run. He
oh, does he
buys
scramble
himself
to keep
time
plays
and
alive?
then he makes
Okay.
the throw. Yeah.
Okay, okay. No, well then, yeah. I mean, if you take all that away, then yeah, you're gonna take Iggy because let's be honest, Iggy's a bit. He's not the tallest guy in the world, but he's taller than Marc Andre. If you're having Marc Andre drop back and you have a rusher who's like 5'10" and up, or even 5'9" and up, rushing right up the middle, and Marc Andre can't scramble around for 5 to 6 seconds to keep plays alive to buy time for his receivers, then no, you're gonna take Iggy because having Marc Andre consistently have to throw over the length, the reach of the rusher, it's not always going to work out great, right? So I mean, I
Mm,
think Iggy will excel in that area for sure.
okay.
Either way, if you're starting I was going to say a franchise, if you're starting a team and you have either of those guys, Iggy or Marc Andre at quarterback, I think you're off to a pretty solid start.
Yeah, for sure. So we
Okay.
kind of talked about Division B,
Yeah.
Poseidon Kiss,
Yep.
the fact that they started 5-0. Shout out to
Yep.
them. Then we have Bangus that's 5-1.
Hmm.
So we kind of talked about that. And then we're gonna go into Division C. I just wanted to, yeah. So we were talking about that. There's nothing really much. Oh yeah. Also, the fact that Shaking Baker now is 1-4, getting
Yeah.
into the contact with, well, the
Yeah. Speaking of
conversation with
Marc
Mark.
Andre, yeah.
I find that's kind of surprising. I figured, since they did pretty good in Division Two last year, um, I figured they'd be able, probably one of the top teams. But 1-4 start is not exactly the
Yeah.
best. Same thing with Idaho and the Pimps as well, right? They also are at a
Yeah.
1-3 start. They both have, Shake and Bake has 5 games left. Idaho has 6 games left. So
Hmm.
I'm sure they're gonna get more wins than they have right now. But it's kind of, it's concerning a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, listen, but both teams in week 8, right? They go head to head. That's going to be Sunday, July 13th. So not that far from now, right? Idaho Ida Pimps against Shake and Bake. That'll be yeah, I'll be at that game. It'll be Loyola on a Sunday. Shake and Bake, the one thing I'll say about them is all their games have been close, except for the one win they have, which was a 47-26 beatdown of Fins Up back on June 22nd. So pretty much I think that was last Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. All their games have been one-score games. They lost 46-42 to Fins Up in the first meeting. They lost to Mangoose 32-31. They lost this again. I mentioned earlier, Poseidon's Kiss 52-50. They lost this past Monday to Run It Once 24-20. Right, so they're in every single game. It's just they kind of pull out a victory at the end, which is troubling. But again, at least they're in every game, right? So that's literally a play here, a play there, and they could easily be 4-1 instead of 1-4. But right, it's getting late early in terms of seedings and that, so they do have to get their act together. But I think over the second half of the season, they should be able to at least string together to. Actually looking at the schedule right now. Silent Ticklers, like I talked about earlier, that's coming up in 2 weeks, and then they have Idaho Eye the Pimps again, like I said, Les Verges Full, Never Overtime, and then Silent Ticklers again. So out of those 5 games, I fully expect Shake and Bake to win at least 3 of them.
Mhm. One thing I do like about Division B this year, unless Les Vers full. when they have their full roster. I think when they have their full roster,
Yeah,
they're a way
they're
better
a lot
team.
better. Yeah, exactly,
Um,
exactly.
the thing that I like right now, I don't see one clear winner in this division. I know Poseidon Kiss right now is they're 5-0, but I feel like any given Sunday, any of these teams could beat each other. So it's very I don't like have a front runner where we have a team like I thought runner once the roster was unbelievable, but right now they're 3-2 and they lost versus never overtime. And you would think because
Exactly.
never overtime this team that's kind of like getting into a Division B um, division this year. Usually they're Division C team.
Yep.
You would think they would be struggling and they'd probably be 0-7. Right now they're 2-5. So I'm curious to see how playoffs are going to go and who's actually going to win a Division B title this year. And I'm like excited about it as well.
Yeah, same. I mean, I think it's really really wide open. Division B right now, like you said, right? I mean, looking at it from top to bottom, yeah, okay, Poseidon's Kiss are in first place, but again, I score kept their two games this past weekend. They were like a play away from losing. They're a play away from being 3-2 versus 5-0, right? So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
teams like Livers Fall 1-5, Shake and Bake 1-5, Idaho had a Pimps like you said 1-3. I mean, out of the 9 teams, 8 made the playoffs, but I think it's going to go down to like the last week of the regular season, week 11, to figure out who's going to get that final playoff spot because everyone's obviously the top seeds. Poseidon's Kiss
Yeah,
and Mangoes, they have 5 wins. I don't think those two teams would be caught, but everyone else, Ticklers 3 wins, Runner Ones 3 wins, Fins Up 3 wins. Like I said,
yeah,
never overtime 2 wins. Everybody could be
yeah.
caught at least seeds 3 going down to
Yeah,
9.
for sure. No, it takes a team to have a bad two 1 or 2 games. Takes another team to have a hot 1 or 2 games, and all of a sudden you have 3 to 4 teams. Everyone's 3-6, 3-7, or sorry, 3-5, whatever, and they're going down. It's coming down to the last week to see who's going to get in, who's going to get out.
Yeah, that's it. All right, man.
So
Let's hop over to Division
Division
C.
B, Division C.
Yeah. So I had a question. We obviously in our group chat. So I changed it up. I made a mistake. I was asking the question I had was is Felix Derry Bernard like the next big thing at quarterback? And then I realized he actually plays receiver for Speed Academy. I know because I've seen him. He play a ton of games for anything, one of the co-ed teams. He's actually a pretty solid quarterback, and I believe he's co-ed too. But he plays receiver for Speed Academy. So then I changed the question in the chat earlier today to will Felix Derry Bernard is he the next? Will he win receiver of the year? So I was looking at his stats. Uh, Again, he plays for Speed Academy. 34 in Division C, 34 catches, 418 yards, 17 touchdowns in 6 games. Yeah, so he's averaging over 2 touchdowns a game in only six
Yeah,
games played.
17.
That's pretty
He's six
impressive.
games. Yeah, no one's gonna catch that. You have Kako Obamba at
Yeah,
12,
Kakamwamba. Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you have AJ Zeptelli. He's at 10.
Hmm.
He's also a really good receiver.
Yeah.
Jean
Hmm.
Felix from Jagger Bomb. That's a veteran. And then you have Xavier Brett for the Pizzica Hut. I
Hmm.
don't think anyone's going to catch him at 17 right now. He has too many touchdowns compared to everybody else. Yards wise, people could catch up with yards. Yards is never a
Yeah.
problem. But touchdown 17, it's averaging, as he said, he's averaging three. He's basically averaging 3 touchdowns a game, around 2.8
Yeah, exactly.
touchdowns.
That's it.
Yeah, so it's like
Exactly.
3 touchdowns a game. Yes, if he had one, he had
Yeah.
one extra one, he would have been 3 touchdowns a game.
Well, that's
Um,
exactly it, right?
yeah,
That's
I'm
it.
pretty sure he's gonna unless Kako Mbamba ends up having a crazy end of the season. He's at 12 right now, so he's averaging 2 a game. If he could get maybe like 3 or 4 touchdowns per game the last 4 games, and then for some reason Felix doesn't get any touchdowns, I think that's the only person that's gonna be able to catch him. But it seems right now he's having a season of it, or he's having
Yeah,
a crazy season.
definitely.
I feel like he's gonna finish around with 30 at this point.
Yeah, he listen. If he keeps on this pace, he definitely will. I mean, again, fantastic receiver. Like I said, I've seen him play a lot. Like he has really good height. He has speed as a quarterback too. So we talked about Marc Andre Reeves, guys who can scramble. Felix Derry Bernard, pardon me, as a quarterback, he can scramble a lot. But again, he has that big arm. He can make all the throws and quickly in co-ed too. I know we're talking about Division C here, but co-ed too, 13 touchdown passes. He has a couple of TD passes on the run. He's averaging almost a 70-yard completion percentage as a quarterback in co-ed two of the team called anything. So yeah,
Yeah,
so speaking, speaking to my original question again, obviously I was talking about quarterback, but just in general, do you think he's kind of one of the next 8 kind of big impact players for Division C? considering how athletic he is and the numbers he's
Yeah,
putting up.
For Division C for sure. With his talent he had, because I actually watched him. I watched him play when he's playing co-ed.
Okay. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
as they won the no, they actually lost co-ed 3. They ended up finishing 9-1. Oh no, they won. They won.
Mm.
Anything won. I'm pretty sure they won at the finals.
Anyone? Yep.
I want to say they won. For some reason, I have a feeling they won.
I'll check it right now. I remember calling that game. I can't. We did a zillion
Yeah, they
games.
did. They
I can't
did win.
remember who
They
won.
did win.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
pretty sure they won. They lost. I want to say they won. I know they finished 9-1. I don't think they lost in the regular in this.
I'm checking it right now. I'm checking it right now. I'll let you know in 2 seconds.
Um,
They won. Yeah. Yeah. Well, speaking of Alexis Dubois, they smoked Kiss My Ears
yeah,
50 to
exactly. Yeah, they
6. Yeah.
smoked. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I said
Yeah.
I'm never.
Yeah.
Yeah, never. Never.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So right now, talent he has right now, he's definitely he's probably one of the top elite players in Division C, especially co-ed like 100%. But Division C is
Yeah.
probably one of the top guys there for now. So he's definitely one of those. To answer your question, yes.
Okay. So we have our next guest coming on soon. Just gonna wait for him to come on the screen. Let's jump quick to Division D. Uh, I was looking at quickly Snowden Deli Deacons. They're 5-0. Uncle Rico's Riders are 5-0 as well. Rem and Coke. I believe they're the last undefeated team in Division D. So three top teams right now leading the standings in Division D.
Yeah. That is
Big matchup
to
though
be
coming
honest,
up.
nothing really surprising, right? Uncle Rico Riders, they just came off a championship. If I believe it's the same. Actually, no, sorry, no,
No,
that's the wrong
no.
team.
Mm-mm.
But this is a team.
It's they're a veteran team,
Guard.
usually in C.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
usually
So
just the
they're
Rico Riders in C.
yeah, exactly. So they're a team that's usually in Division C and they do pretty well. They usually finish
Yeah,
about 6-4 or 5 and
yeah,
5.
yeah.
So now they're in Division D. So our division, I think they do Division 4 and Division D. So they kind of like in between. I think they were in Division C. I think last season or
Yeah, they were. They were.
last season.
They were. Yeah.
So nothing surprising there. Again, they're a veteran team, veteran quarterback, veteran defense. A lot of guys have been playing with each other for a while. So the fact that they're 5-0 is not surprise. Same thing for Snowden Deli Degens. They're also a team that came from Division, I want to say 5.
Yeah. Yeah. I
They
think they're in
came,
5.
yeah, I want to
Okay.
say they were in Division 5, so they kind of made a jump to Division D, and they did pretty good in Division 5. I want to say, I think they're Division 5B.
Yeah.
So I want to say, not nothing really like, a bit surprising, but not really. They have some veterans, Jeremy and Stingbag. Then you have Sam. I think he plays on your team. Sam asks.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't.
not
I
gonna
can't
pronounce his
pronounce
last
his
name.
last
Yeah.
name. But
Anastasopoulos or something. Anyways. Yeah.
yeah, and then they have Adam Maniloff.
Melanoff. Yeah. Yeah. He's a good player.
Yeah, exactly.
Good
So
player.
he's kind of also a quarterback that's kind of getting.
Mm-hmm.
He's starting to get his name out as well. He's pretty good, especially to play in Division D. He understands certain concepts, so
Yeah.
I feel like he feels very comfortable in this division. So nothing really surprising there. For the Division D, Rum and Coke, I don't really know exactly what team who they are.
So I could tell you.
Uh,
So I was gonna say. So Rum and Coke. I had a chance to watch them.
oh, that's Benny's team. I
Honestly,
didn't
yeah,
know
it's
they
been
were called
exactly. Yeah,
themselves.
yeah. That's it. Yeah, I did their
Uh,
game. I think they were playing last Friday in Laval. So I had a chance to keep their game. So
okay, who's the
yeah,
quarterback for that team?
it
Oh, it's
is.
Dante.
I think it's Dante. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
Dante
I didn't
Girardi.
know they named their. I'm surprised they named their name Rum and Coke. Oh, cool.
A solid drink, solid team name.
Yeah.
Are you a rum guy? No, I think we've had this
Yeah, did we
conversation
have
before.
discussed this? Didn't you
Yeah, I
tell me
think
like
yeah, the
Jack
field.
Daniels? Was it you that said
I
you
don't.
like Jack Daniels?
I mean, I don't. It's not my favorite, but I don't mind. JD and Coke's not that bad, honestly. It's not that. It's not my
Someone, okay,
go-to.
maybe it
But
wasn't you. Someone told me that. I was like, I don't like Jack Daniels.
no, we
The
talked.
thing
No,
is, for me,
I think no. We talked about that. We talked about that. No, we did talk about that. It's not my favorite, but I mean, I don't mind a JD and Coke. I mean,
the issue with me and Jack Daniels is that like I felt like Jack Daniels is one of the easiest liquor to get your hands on. I don't know what it was. I just feel like it
right.
was a liquor that was easy to get on. So like I remember I used to drink it a lot. And then I was
Okay.
like, yo, this is and then I had like Appleton or I had like
Yeah,
Kraken.
yeah.
I was like, why am I drinking
What's
Jack Daniels this whole time? Like why did no one ever tell me that there's other things to choose from? Because I felt like Jack Daniels, like you go to your friend's house, like the bottle was there, you go out, like
yeah, of
like
course.
everything.
Yeah.
it was promoted. I was just like, if even at my house too, I like my parents had a bottle of Jack Daniels, and it was probably the liquor that no one touched the most. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll just take the Jack Daniel bottle. But like
Yeah,
even if
hundred
I at my
percent.
friends' house too, like, oh, you guys want a rum and coke? You know, you're young, like 17, 18. Yeah, whatever. So you're drinking Jack Daniels. It's but like then
But
I'm
it,
thinking about
but
this.
it's not
I'm
even
like,
rum though, right? Jack Daniels
hmm?
is not rum. Jack Daniels is not rum.
No,
It's whiskey.
yeah, exactly. But it's
Yeah,
based on like
yeah.
that's something where you mixed it with. But anyways,
Right, right, right.
not a biggest fan.
I friend, listen. I know a lot of people that don't like it either. I got into it late. Like, but I remember I was playing at Concordia, and like a buddy of mine's like, "Hey, you want to try this?" And I was like, Jack Daniels. I don't know about that." He goes, "Trust me, bro. That wasn't that bad." Again, it's not my first choice. Like, I have a bottle of JD. I had a barbecue years ago, and kind of one of those always BYOB kind of things. Like, like if I do a barbecue, I'm always gonna provide stuff. I'll provide food and I'll provide some liquor. But I was, people bring a little something. Someone had brought me a bottle of JD, and I was like, all right, I'm never gonna buy this. So it's actually still sitting in my room. But anyways,
Mm.
um, yeah, I don't know. I see what you're saying. It's kind of for me, something with like Jägermeister, like a drink that like
Yeah,
I would
exactly. Yeah.
never buy. But yeah,
Um, funny thing. So I went to Three Rivers last 2 weeks ago. We're at the I forgot the term it's called, a really good event, and I was there with a bunch of flag players. Actually, I ended up going with Terror Squad. Their
okay.
7-on-7 team, and for some reason I started drinking tequila and pineapple. Yeah. I
Okay.
started drinking tequila and pineapple. I find it was pretty good. So I've been drinking it for the past like 3 months. It's like my drink I go to. So if I go to the bar, I'm like, oh, what do you want? Tequila, pineapple, whatever. So I've been drinking it, and so one of my good buddies, Max Jiku. So I knew Max since we were like 14 years old. We used to play versus
Okay.
each other. I played for Greenfield. He played for Rebels, and we're like
Okay.
so St.
Okay.
Hubert versus Greenfield Park. So people that don't know on the South Shore, it's like it's a rivalry type of thing because we're
Oh,
like literally across the street from each other. So whenever we played versus each other, Friday Night Lights and Civil, like that was the big rivalry. But after that, everyone was kind of cool. So I knew Max from then. So they kind of have we're at this bar and they're like it's 2 for 1. So I'm like he's like, oh, what are you getting? I'm like, oh, pineapple and tequila. So I get the pineapple tequila, it's 2 for 1. So I take one, I give one. He takes a sip of it and he goes, ugh. He's like, this is what you drink. I was like, it can't be that bad. So I give it to someone else. I'm like, oh, this is good. I look at Max. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you? He's like, never, never. I'll never drink that. And then this weekend, I actually went to his house, and he had a bottle of pineapple, Ciroc pineapple, and he's like, yeah,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
he's like, none of my parent, no, none of my. He's like, no one drinks this. You can have this bottle if you want.
yeah.
I was like, you hate pineapple that bad?
Oh
So
man.
long story short, I got a free bottle of Ciroc pineapple.
Hey, it's a win right there, my friend. It's a win right there. That's okay. Okay. All right. I will say bourbon and coke's underrated. Just want to throw that out there for anybody
Bourbon, yeah, I like
that's
bourbon.
interested.
I like
It's good
bourbon on the
stuff.
rocks. So
Yeah, it's not bad. There you go. There you go. Although in my heart of hearts, I'm a rum and coke guy through and through. But yeah, thanks to my dad. Anyways, okay. So back to football. So anyway, so it's I'm looking at this matchup coming up here in Division D is going to be actually the Snowden Deli Deegans against Uncle Rico's Riders. So a battle of two 5-0 teams coming up. That's going to be Sunday night at Laval this coming Sunday at 5 p.m. So obviously big showdown, 5-0 versus 5-0. The winner will fall from that first place tied down to third, right? Assuming the Rum
mm,
and Coke stay undefeated. So that's going to be an interesting matchup uh, for Snowden Deli Deacons and Uncle Rico's Riders in Division D.
yeah, something that's kind of surprising also that Team Ethic is 1-4, 1-4-1. Um, I was looking at when the schedule first came out and I saw the teams in Division D. I figured this team was going to be about 5-5, but the fact that they're 1-4-1 is kind of concerning a bit since again Team
Yeah.
Ethic's been in this league for a while as
A
well.
million, yeah,
Yeah,
a
so
million years team ethic.
so it's kind of like I thought they were going to do a bit better. Again, the season's not done yet. They still have 4 more games, so they could actually finish 5-4-1. You never know, but it's kind of
Right.
bit,
I
a bit
mean,
a bit surprising for a team
I've
like that.
I've played against many versions of this team, and I score kept the game a few weeks ago in Broussard. Honestly, it's turnovers. Turnovers are killing them. Quarterback, they have a good veteran in Benoit Lawler, but I mean, 19 touchdown passes, 12 ints. Their offense, look, they scored 20 points week one, then 28, then 13, then 20, 46, which is great, and then back down. to 25, right? So they've scored 30 points or more, a total of once this season. That's not going to get you any victories, right?
Yeah,
Hence why
especially
they're 1-4.
Division D. You need to Division D. It's a
Yeah,
scoring affair, so
yeah,
you need at least there. I think to win a game in Division D, unless your defense is very solid and um, you're winning games like 22 to 25 type of things. But most teams are going to be scoring 30 points each game.
that's it. There you go. All right, let's hop over to Division E.
FE.
Yeah, E. Yeah, Division E right now. Um, so I was looking at it quickly. I don't know. Is there anything you wanted to talk about, or
Yeah, I'm just opening it up. Yeah, so for Division E, again, it's good to see the teams that. Oh, sorry, wait. Yeah, it's good to see the teams that came back, right? So you have Gold Rush, that's 5-0. You have Chambly Shoals, that are 5-0. Toon Squad, we talked about them too a bit. They're 5-1. So shout out to those three teams, as well as Sophomore XL. They're a team that we also talked about a bit. They also have an
yeah,
Instagram that they're kind of promoting. It's pretty cool to see. So, Blue Mountain State 4-1, Reborn Prospect. So you see a lot of these teams that were in. I believe it was Division. I want to say six. I want to say 6A or 6B around those lines that kind of came back and they're doing much better compared to last. I think actually Gold Rush won last year, but you see some of those teams again as a reborn prospects team that are 3-1. Again, Demons 2-2. I know they're a team that was kind of struggling. I think they only won 3 games last season. So the fact that they already won two this year is pretty good.
right.
So it's pretty nice to see. Unseen, I know Unseen did. I believe Unseen did way better last season. So the fact that they're 1-4 this year is not the best, but again, as I where I'm kind of really getting at, it's kind of nice to see that these teams they came back and they're playing instead of playing Division F, which some teams could drop to down to, they're playing in Division E. So it's kind of it's a bit harder because I feel like some of these teams would have less struggle playing in Division F and feel a bit more comfortable. The fact that they're in Division E, it's nice to see that.
No, definitely for sure. Well, speaking of Unseen and well, Sophomore Excel knocking off Unseen last week, 42-14. But bit of bad news though for Sophomore Excel. I was talking to Keon Cyrus, obviously the captain of the team. There was an injury. Christopher Young on their team, I believe, has a torn Achilles.
Hey,
So obviously his season is going to be done. Luckily, apparently he's not going to have to undergo surgery. So I guess
okay,
it's not fully torn, but he's definitely out for the rest of the year. So I mean, that's it's unfortunate. It's one thing obviously we talked about earlier in the season, first couple episodes, right? A lot of injuries going on here in FPF. I mean, you look at the NBA Finals, right? Tyrese Halliburton,
yeah.
go back, Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum. I think I'm leaving somebody out here that had a major injury during the postseason, in the playoffs. Obviously here in FPF, a lot of the same things, still soft tissue injuries, right? It's
Yeah, no, it's
sucks.
unfortunate. As we were kind of saying, right, injuries is kind of like the worst thing
Yeah,
to
yeah.
happen. Again, remember Steph Curry also got hurt as well for
Yep, yep.
Golden
Steph Curry got
State.
hurt. Yep. Yeah, he got hurt.
So again,
So
injuries it happens, right? It happens in every sport. You can see that it's unfortunate that it does happen, and you kind of just want to make sure that you try to stay safe as possible. Again, like no one's go okay. I'm gonna try to be safe as possible. I'm not going to tear my ACL, but like sometimes there's some certain steps that you do take. Like to a point now, like for me, sometimes when I see like a ball in the air, I don't even bother. If I know it's gonna be like a dangerous thing, I don't even bother even trying to make a play on it because and that's in the end of the day, I'm like, is it actually worth it? Like if it's a championship game or a playoff game, sure, but like a regular season game, I go, well, I
yeah,
let it go, nice catch, it is what it is. Tell the
right,
guys,
right.
I'm not gonna, and everyone's like, yeah, everyone's understanding, so it's to pack like think before you do your action because you never know what
Yeah,
the consequences are gonna be.
that's true. That's true. I mean, try to play safe as you can, right? Football, even though it's flag, it's still a contact sport. You got to try and be smart out there, protect yourself and protect your opponents in that. And I guess prayers up for Chris Young and anyone else that's gotten hurt, no matter whether it's an Achilles or anything. Prayers up to anyone that's gotten hurt so far this season. Is again, so I'll try to stay safe. Unfortunately, like the pros, unlike the pros, I should say, we don't get paid, so most of us have a job to go to tomorrow. So
Yeah,
it is what it is. All right, let's hop over to Division F.
Hmm.
So PSTM, they were riding high. They were sitting at 5-0. I score kept their game. It was actually the last game of Sunday morning, which was super long and hot outside, but it was still a good game to call, to score keep. Sorry. They fell to first down sniffers by a score of 25-24. There was a lot of big plays in that game, a lot of penalties too, especially late. A big play was made at the end. I'm just trying to, I wrote it down in my notes here. Yeah, so a big play was made at the end. A 10-yard touchdown pass from Matthew Couturier to Philippe Desjardins on the final play of the game. A 10-yard TD gave the first down sniffers again a 25-24 win over PSTM. So again, PSTM goes from being undefeated to now falling to 5-1. They still though are in first place in Division F. So again, the sky isn't falling. It's not the end of the world for them, but dreams of going having a path to profession obviously not going to happen this year for them.
Yeah, but again, sometimes it's kind of good to lose a game now, right? You lose it in between
Yep.
mid of the season.
Yep.
It kind of just shows you guys are not invincible. It shows that you guys lost versus a team that was at that point they were 2-3, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of goes to show that you guys are not untouchable. There are teams that probably could beat you. So don't you when you go into games, don't think at that time you guys are 5-0 and you're gonna destroy this team that's 2-3. They've lost versus this. It could be point, but it could came to the fact where they lost versus a team where they beat by like 20 or 30, and like, oh, we're not gonna lose versus this team. It's a reality check, you know. So
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes I think that's the. Sometimes I feel like that's better. It's better to lose now than lose later on the playoffs, because I think the biggest issue is when teams go 5-10-0 and they have an undefeated season and they go into the first round of playoffs, they don't have situations where they lose games. A lot of times when I'm playing tournaments and stuff, and let's just say it's round robin, and we have 4 round robin games, right? And we go perfect, and we get into the quarterfinals, and we end up winning the quarterfinals, and everything is everything is good, and then we go into the semis, and we end up having a super tough game, and we end up losing. Sometimes I feel like, and it happens quite often, where I feel like, oh, maybe we should have lost one of those round robin games to kind of get that feeling and understand how things were in certain situations, where if we end up losing earlier on, we could have understood what we had to do better going into a game where we're like, where it comes to a point where it's like, oh, we could have done this, but instead we didn't do this because this never happened before, then it happening, you know. So it's like, okay, this is how we lost last time, compared to, so we never lost like this last time, so now we lost like this last like before, if you
Right.
understand what I'm trying
Right.
to say.
Yeah. No. 100%. 100%. Again, you get those losses out of the way early. Let it be a learning experience for you. So come playoff time, you don't make the same mistakes that you would make potentially if you haven't had a loss before. And I think also, I think those losses, speaking to what you're saying, right? It's good to like it gives you that motivation. Obviously, it lets you know what you did wrong and what you got to fix, but kind of gives you that motivation. Listen, we hate this. It's like I was talking to some guys on my team. I hate losing. I hate losing, whether it's tackle football, flag football, chess, anything. I hate losing, but especially football, right? Like for me, like it kills a part of me inside. And I know, listen, people say it's just a game, and 100% it is just a game. I'm doing this for fun now, especially at my age. Like I just want to go out and have some fun and play some ball because I love playing football. But like it's still it kills me inside to lose.
Yeah, it's just
And
it's a
yeah,
weird feeling. It's like you're like it's like a like
yeah, 100%. And for me, like it ruins my night, and even maybe the next day or two. Like that taste is in my mouth. So
yeah.
like you're saying, speaking to your point, get that out of the way now. But remember, for especially for the young players out there, ladies and guys, remember what that loss feels like, and try to make sure you and your team never experience that, at least for the rest of the season.
Mhm.
All right.
Let's go to quad 3.
Cool. That's a COVID three here. A lot of action in co-ed 3. So I was waiting for it to come up on the screen there. Yep. So one undefeated team left. That is Yard Chasers. They are sitting at 4-0, but technically they're 2 points behind first place. Ghosted. Ghosted is 5-1. So obviously they have 5 wins compared to 4 for Yard Chasers. A couple other teams actually with 4 wins. Shadow Squad, Kiss My Age. We talked about them earlier. They have 4 wins as well. So basically 3 teams, 2 points back of first place, ghosted in co-ed 3.
Hmm. Yeah, it's also nice to see there's 7 teams in Quad 3 this year, um, compared to what we had before. Right, we didn't start with Quad 3; we started with Quad 1.
Yeah,
Um,
it's true. It's
in
true.
FPF. So now the fact that we're in co-ed, I know most teams like to go. They when you're starting, it's the reason why there's so many teams because a lot of friends kind of get together, female friends, guy friends, to kind of make a team together. But it's nice to see there's 17 teams in co-ed 3. It's nice to see, especially when you're actually like scorekeeping or kind of just like walking around the field and you're kind of seeing it. And all the mix and stuff like that. It's nice to see the process that we've from where we started to where we are right now.
No, 100%. I mean, I couldn't agree more. And you look at it, right? Like, um, there's 31 teams in total in co-ed between co-ed 1 and co-ed 3, right? So that speaks to, obviously speaks to FPF. Listen, it's the biggest league, biggest flag football league in the world. It is what it is. The best competition is here, but it also speaks to just the popularity of the sport and just the growing of the sport, right? For not just males but females too, right? Everyone's getting involved every year. Like I said, this year co-ed 3, and there's women's 3. There's the F division for the men's 6-on-6, right? Just the game of football is alive and well in this province, and I think FPF has at least a little bit to do with it. Just look at the numbers, right? 31
Yeah,
teams in co-ed. It's
for
pretty
sure.
awesome.
It's
Okay.
also nice to see teams coming back as well, right? Teams that didn't do so well, like Dream Killers didn't do so well in co-ed
Mhm.
3 last year, I think it was.
Yep.
So the fact that they're back right now, they're 2-1. So that's pretty nice for them. Vultures as well didn't do so well, but they're back with their team, back with their quarterback. I think her name is
Yep.
Megan or Megali. Magali, I think her name is. I'm gonna pull it up right here.
Oh, Megali Delan, I think. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So she's
Yeah, Delan.
back with her
Yeah, yeah, she's
team.
good. She's good. Yep.
Yeah, she's getting better. I think she's kind of understand a bit more. She didn't have the
Mhm.
best first season. She threw a lot of interceptions, but the fact that they kind of made back the team, they put more pieces around her. So it's pretty nice to see that they're able to do that. But also with other teams as well. So it's nice to see the teams actually coming back actually after having not the best season, but the fact that you're like, okay, let's kind of run it back, and it's stuff that
Yeah.
makes it cool to see.
Yeah, what I say, right? I mean, that speaks to continuity. Like you're getting back a lot of the same players, and then you maybe bringing in a new piece here, a new piece there. You're maybe changing things up. You realize what didn't work last season, and you stick with it, right? Just because your first season doesn't go good doesn't mean you should quit and never come back, right? Like being smart about it and just you're trying to build towards something, and that team right there, obviously, that looks to be what they're doing, pretty
Mhm.
much. All right, let's go to co-ed 2. So I know you had a question or something you want to bring up about team anything.
Yeah. So I wrote, yeah, exactly. So one thing that's cool about anything, right? So they played co-ed 3 last year.
Hmm.
In the winter, they end up winning exactly. So they end up winning the championship. Now they're in co-ed 2 and they're leading the pack. They're 4-1. So it's good. It's cool to say that they made the jump because um, some teams don't make the jump as well, even though they went 9-1. Some teams would stay as quad 3, feel comfortable in what they know. But the fact that they made the jump to quad 2 and they're kind of leading the pack, it's nice to see, and they're kind of
Yeah,
showing everyone that they're the real deal.
yeah, 100%,
So just
100%.
just a shout out to them. A team that's kind of disappointing that Party Mix is 0-6 right now.
Yeah,
Party Mix is a team that that started co-ed 1. They were one of the top teams there with Francis. I forgot his last
yeah, yeah.
name.
Delorier, Francois
Yeah,
Delorier.
so he was kind of um,
Yeah, Catherine
he was
Peach, I
kind of
think, believe.
the starter when it comes to that. Um, so it's kind of they have talent on that team. I don't know exactly what the problem is with that. Maybe the roster consistency is not that good. You can see that right now, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Yeah, it seems like they have 18 people on the roster, and at least every player, at least one per person has played one game. So I think it could come down to maybe a little roster issue where they don't have enough people, enough. They don't have a consistency in their roster, and usually when that happens, Have
There you go.
consistent in your roster. It doesn't help you guys to win games. One day you're missing your quarterback. One day you're missing your rusher. One day you're missing your number one receiver. Just
Hmm.
little small things like that conclude a lot of losses. So I think maybe that's one of their issues they have. So they're 0-6 right now. They do end up playing Hebrew, which is not probably the best right now. They're not the best team. Block Party again, back that pass up, and Zoomies at the end of the season. So hopefully they'll be able to kind of step it up, get a better roster consistency, and win some games going forward. It's a good thing that every team does make playoffs, so it's not the end of the world. But for them to maybe get some wins would be nice for them.
Yeah, for sure. But you want to stack some wins, especially second half of the season, right? We officially are in the second half of the season. There's very few teams that haven't played at least 5 games right now. So yeah, stacking some wins and getting that confidence and heading into the postseason, feeling good and playing good. Obviously, two huge important things. So let's see if that team could do that.
Hmm.
Okay. You want co-ed one, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, co-ed one. Just looking at it. So yeah, you talked about one of the things you wanted to talk about was a rematch of last year's finals. So I'll let you
Yeah,
have at it.
so you have Lego My Ego versus the Merge that are undefeated right now. So they're gonna play tonight at 10 p.m. So that's what Lory was talking about.
Hmm.
Again, then yeah, so you're gonna have the rematch for that. And other than that, you have GTD. I
Yeah,
believe that's AJ's
AJ's
team. So
team. Yep.
they're
Yep.
yeah, they're doing pretty well right now. They're 4-2. No pads, no helmets, just balls. They also had a roster problem as well. You had Francis Cashlo was coming back from injury, and then he ended up leaving for the senior national
Yeah.
championships as well. Sorry, not the senior, the
For the
LA Summer
tournament. Yeah.
Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, for that. So that didn't help. Something that's kind of concerning is that IG is 1-4 right now. Right. Usually IG is one of the top teams. They usually end up finishing maybe 7-3. I know roster consistency didn't help them as well. The last game that they played against was against no pads, no helmets, just balls. Where I'm not sure if Jean Slee ended up coming late to that game, but I know I was with Jean Slee at the tournament in Three Rivers, so um, I know that was kind of issue for him kind of getting there, and I know some of his girls were kind of banged up. So, but the fact that Francis Cashlo went off for 8 catches, 8 catches, 194 yards, and 5 touchdowns, kind of goes to show how much he's worth when he's there and he's healthy and stuff. So it just it basically goes to show the last game that wait before I say that, yeah. So he played that game against the Merge. I want to see if he was at the Merge game. Yeah, so he wasn't. So he played the game versus IG team. They won by 20 points, and then the Merge plays no pads, no helmets, and he's not there, and they lose by 27. So it just shows a huge impact when he's there and when he's not there. Okay. So yeah, again, so it's kind of shows how much of a player he is and how good he is. So hopefully, coming down the line of the rest of the season, he's going to be there because they're definitely going to need him to win some games. They also got new uniforms. It seems. I don't believe they had these before. So shout out to them. It's always nice to see teams in new uniforms when it's different, or what teams get uniforms as well too. Because I know some teams take a while by the time they get uniforms. When they get uniforms, it's nice to see, and they also feel a bit better too. They kind of come in, they have more of a swagger look to them when they have it. So shout out to them and all the teams that got uniforms are just uniforms in general. It's always nice to see. So that'll be it for Coed One. We could go into. I'll just go Women's C. Um, yeah, Women's C. So again, Women's C, we have 4 teams. I remember I was telling Brent, I was kind of telling, so I think every team's gonna have a win here, which is true. We have Humble 1-4, She Sparks 2-4, Cavaliers 4-1, and then Turf Titans that are 4-2. So I thought Cavaliers would kind of go run. They're gonna run away with this, but it seems like Turf Titans were able to give them a run for their money. I think Turf Titans beat Cavaliers. Yeah, so they beat them 44-0. And then Cavaliers beat them 18-12. So it's kind of a big jump. I don't understand how you beat a team by 6 and then beat a team by 44. Maybe Cavaliers are missing some players. It seems maybe they're missing a quarterback, but to lose by 44 points is kind of absurd. But again, it's a long season. I'm pretty sure they're gonna play against each other again if the schedule works out that way. I'm just gonna double check. Yeah, so they play against each other Thursday. Actually, they play each other tonight in Laval. So Brent, you're probably gonna see some of that game coming down to it. So we'll see how that goes. But it's nice to see that we have a women's right now. We have a women's C. It helps from them not to be in Division B and kind of getting destroyed, so they're able to get a little motivation and able to get some wins for themselves. So they a little confidence instead of being Division B and having a struggle or going 0-10 and not being able to feel that they're able to compete versus that division. So the fact that they have a Division C where everyone's like not maybe not on the same level, but more on the same level where they feel it's the right competition for them. Going into the Division B, um, so Division B is very interesting. Wolfpack right now is 5-1. Where I was in my notes, I was kind of writing about. Um, is this the year that Wolfpack's going to win a championship? Because right now, I don't see a lot of teams being able to beat them. You do have the veteran Chaos team that always ends up coming out from the clutch, where it doesn't matter if they finish the season 4-6 or 5-5. For some reason, they always make it to the finals, so you never count them out. Hebrew is also a team they're kind of getting their name out there. Supernova is also a team that's been in this division for a while. But right now, Wolfpack is 5-1. It seems like they're in the driver's seats. They're winning the games that they have to win. They only have one loss this season, and that's to Hibu. They lost 13-0, which still, again, the fact they scored 0 points, but they only allowed 13. So at the end of the day, anything could change, and they do not play versus them again. But it's only one loss, and you only lost the game by 13 points. So that's an easy fix there. So it's curious to see if the Wolfpack, if this year is going to be their year to win their first championship, because I don't think any of their girls have a championship. It seems like they do not have a championship. I think they started in this division where they haven't won yet. So the fact that maybe if they're able to come out, oh, they actually beat Hubel. They actually beat Hubel again. So if they lose versus Hubel 13-0, then they beat them 27-26. So I feel like right now they feel pretty comfortable going into the rest of the season, and yeah. So sorry. So I feel like they feel pretty comfortable going into the rest of the season. The fact that they beat the team that they beat the team that only beat they beat the team that only beat them. So it's good motivation. And as I said before, is this the year that Wolfpack's going to win their first championship? Other than that, again, you have the basis as I was saying. You have Supova that's 3-1, Hebo that's 3-2, and Chaos are 3-2, and then Dream Killers and Lietias, where Lietias didn't have the best season last year. I think they finished 1-9. So again, they're kind of getting their footing in, and then Dream Killers as well. They didn't do as well last year, but again, they're getting used to it, and they're 1-5. So a lot of football season, a lot of football left. Going to be a very interesting end of the season. So that was women's. That was women's B, and then we're in women's A. So women's A again. The question is anyone going to be able to slow down Sub Zero? Sub Zero right now is 6-0. They're pretty much doing whatever they want. Again, everyone knows Sub Zero is a team to beat. It's been like that for a while. They've beat Ice Cold, Monarchs, Blue Pawn, Matrix, the Crocs, and the Ice Cold. So the only team that they haven't beat yet is Cayenne. Yeah, the only team they haven't beat yet is Cayenne, and I think that's kind of like a rivalry at this point, just because they play versus each other and so many other tournaments outside the states, inside the states, outside Canada, stuff like that. So that's going to be a rivalry, and the fact that they haven't played versus each other yet, it kind of goes to show why Sub Zero is still 6-0. Cayenne hasn't. Oh yeah, I guess they had a forfeit. So Cayenne is 20. They beat Blue Pawn, they beat Monarchs, they beat Ice Cold, and they forfeited versus Monarchs. June 15th. So
Yeah.
again, I
Yeah.
don't think I think Cayenne probably would have beat Monarchs if they didn't have to forfeit since they beat them 47-18. So we should technically we should have had two teams right now undefeated, but
Be
we only have
undefeated. Yeah.
one. So I think going down to the last couple weeks, we're going to see a Cayenne versus Sub Zero clash where they end up playing. They're going to play versus each other twice. So that's going to be
Yeah.
nice to see. Other than the other teams, again, Les Crocs. Again, Les Crocs are struggling. I know they had a bit of injury. I don't think MJ, Marie Joel, what we kind of talked about with Lory.
Yeah.
I don't think she was supposed to be playing on this team. I think she was only supposed to be playing co-ed. So I think they missed her for a couple games. I see that she played two games here, so maybe some things switch, but they definitely need her if they're gonna want to win games. Right now, they don't feel as
Yeah.
comfortable. Shout out to them for making the jump into women's A. It's nice to see them make the jump. Again, they have one win. They beat Matrix. They beat Matrix. So shout out to them. Matrix is a good team. It's again, like it's unfortunate sometimes if you do finish the season 1-8, 1-9, 2-8. It's something that you do not want, but it just goes to show that you're trying to test your team and kind of test your limits to see exactly where you stand. So the fact that they're playing in Division Women's A right now, they're kind of showing them like, okay, we're not the best team, but we're always gonna try to see what we could do, and we're gonna try to get as much wins as possible here. Because again,
Yeah.
we probably by far, especially in this league, we have, especially for women's division A and B, even C as well. You probably have the best talented women that play in this league all over Quebec. I want to say all over
Yeah.
Canada, and it kind of goes to show that most of the girls that represent the senior team for Team Canada this year they're all FPF players. Most of them are. So the fact that you're able to compete against these girls and kind of see where you're at. It's like it's a blessing where a lot of girls outside that don't get to experience that. Like every single week, you get to play versus a girl. Like, oh yeah, I played against a girl, like, or I scored a touchdown on a girl that's a defensive cornerback for Team Canada. Like, there's not a lot of times you're able to say that. So I feel like
100%.
it's a big step for the Crocs to make. But again, it's something that's gonna in the long run, I think it's gonna help them.
100%. You can hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. So,
welcome
couple
back.
things. So, I thank you. Technology is always great. Yeah, so I score kept the Crocs a game against the Monarchs this past weekend. So I saw a couple of interesting things. So like you were talking about, no, so Marie Joelle Vandel, she did play again. She was her phenomenal self. Sarah Moe, Matt too as well. They came to play. It's just what really held them back against the Monarchs was just the offense. So Catherine Schnick, I should have asked her actually how to pronounce her last name. My apologies. She struggled. She went 7 to 26, 89 yards, one INT. So she struggled to throw the ball past, let's say, 15 to 20 yards. She got replaced, I believe, just a bit after halftime by Kim Lau Lorraine. Okay, so Kim Lau Lorraine came maybe about 5 or 6 plays into the game, whatever happens sometimes. So she came in the second half and she was just throwing bombs, but none of them were connecting. So it was a thing where both quarterbacks just couldn't get into rhythm. They were
Hmm.
missing short and they were missing long. And when they had opportunities, like they couldn't get them on offense. And then defensively, they just got killed by the deep ball. Like Andrea and Cataret came in and she was just like slinging a rock in the intermediate and deep parts of the field. And it's like the Crocs defense had no answers. And you look at it like, and look at both teams, the Crocs had the height advantage. So obviously, Mary Joelle Vandel was, I believe, the tallest female playing in FPF. She's long, she's athletic. They had a friend of ours, Emma Thompson, Ass Lane. Like they're able to make plays. Like Corey Leduc. Like they have a lot of playmakers on their team. It's just they couldn't get. They couldn't find that synergy. They couldn't find that right chemistry both on offense and defense. And the Monarchs just they sat back and they just took advantage, especially in the second half. Right, they're up 21-0. They just sat back and picked apart both sides of the ball of the Crocs. I know I heard you were talking about Sub Zero again now 6-0. So credit to them. I was scorekeeping Friday in Laval, so I wasn't doing their game, but they were on the field right next to mine. So obviously I'm going to look over a couple of times. They're missing a lot of big guns in that game. So obviously with the tournament in LA, right, a lot of the big names weren't there for Sub Zero. Caroline Moke and Joubert, obviously the goat herself, Sarah Parker, wasn't there. There was a number Sabrina Gervais wasn't there, but they're missing some other players as well. Like Emily Carrier obviously wasn't there. Jessica Bossy Tampin. A lot of players were gone. Only regulars they had was like Tamara Journeau, pretty much, and Rochelle
Mm.
Valier, right? They had a bunch of subs. So they had Virginie Journeau, who I imagine is Tamara's sister, maybe cousin or something. So she balled out. She had a great game. Maya DeFazio. Maya's like the ultimate sub, whether it's co-ed or women's. Like if you need a sub, you call Maya. Maya came in there, she balled. So they got a big 33-26 victory over Ice Cold. But it was surprising. So obviously Pat Jerome, right? He's one of the coaches for Sub Zero. He was actually coaching Ice Cold during the game, which
Yeah,
was
so
a little
that's both.
surprising.
So that's something to kind of see. Like Ice Cold's, it's another team. So they're
Yeah,
not related to Sub Zero. It's a team that he started
yeah,
coaching
yeah,
to as
yeah.
well. So he coaches both sides now.
Okay,
But
yeah,
again, Ice Cold is more of a non-veteran team, so he's with
yeah.
the
No,
younger the
it's
younger the younger
no.
girls.
So yeah, so it's a newer team for sure. It's just I know week one of the season in that super cold day we had to start off week one of the season, Pat was there and he was coaching Sub Zero against Ice Cold. So I was just a little surprised
Yeah.
to see him coaching Ice Cold this time around. But so okay, listen, they almost knocked off Sub Zero, so it is what it is. I mean, obviously
Mhm.
Sub Zero
Yeah,
missing
but
a lot of the
Ice Cold
regulars.
they have, as again, I was talking to Pat too again, and we're at the tournament that I
Yeah.
told you that I was at, and
Mhm.
again, like the roster that they have a big roster. It just goes to
Yeah,
show how
yeah,
many
yeah.
good girls that we have in Quebec.
It's true,
Like
100%.
that's the reason why he made this team. It's because to the point where, like, don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, it's still about clicks, right? So it's like
Yeah,
if you don't know the right person, it's hard to get on a
yeah,
team. Same thing regarding Division A, like for men. Same thing for to Division A, Division
mhm.
B,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Division C. Sometimes it's kind of where you're able to maybe like step up and get in there. But if you're someone new and you're trying to get on Division A team, it's very hard to actually get on Division A team. It's the same thing for women's as well. It's
Mhm.
hard for you to actually get on a team, and when you have a roster, the roster that Ice Cold has, right? So let's just say I would
It's
say they're
deep.
good. There are about
It's
12
deep.
girls
Yeah, they were
consistent.
12 last game, 10 or
Yeah,
12.
I
Yeah,
would say there are about 12 consistent girls. Out of the
yeah,
12 girls, everyone could ball out. But
it's
if
true.
you're taking those 12 girls and you're trying to get on, okay, one girl on Sub Zero, okay, one girl on Monarchs, okay, one girl on Matrix, okay, one
Like
girl.
Cayenne
It's
or
like
yeah, yeah,
you have to take you're trying to get so, and then some girls are just like, oh, sorry, we're full. Like same thing for Sub Zero, right? I think they
yeah,
added Rochelle and they added the girl
yeah.
from
But
from
Mathilde, they had Mathilde and
Michaela.
Laura. There's
I want to
Mathilde
say.
Sibyl and there's Laura. I can get her name. Laura. I remember we were talking to Sarah. She mentioned the other player they added. Anyways, finish your point. Oh, okay. All
Yeah, the
right.
snapper as
So
well, right? Or I think, yeah, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, oh yeah. So they added her,
okay,
and then
okay. All right. So
they added, yeah. So they added her, and they added Rochelle. So they added three people, which is
okay.
like, it's 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 nice. It's nice to see that they actually they're able to add three girls on their team and try to
Yeah,
make their team a bit better and try to change some things up because it's always good to have a bit of different.
yeah,
It's always good to have a bit of switch up and kind of see what things you're missing, what things you
yeah.
could
And
not
you
get.
need
Am I
depth.
frozen or he's
You
frozen?
need that. No, you're freezing, but it's fine. No worries. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. You
Laura.
need depth.
Yeah, Laura Molly Mart is the other female we were talking about. All right. So,
Yeah,
anyways,
great
Sub Zero
snapper
stays
as
undefeated.
well.
Well, that's
Solid.
it. There you go. There you go. Okay. Let's. I know we're about to sign off here quickly. Let's just jump to the juice. We got some poll results. We got
Yeah. Okay.
some four downs. Okay, so let's
Yeah.
jump to the poll results. So we asked the question. So I'm just trying to find it right here. So we asked the question, what's the most important position or the more important position, pardon me, quarterback or rusher? Obviously, quarterback came in winning about 85% of that vote. 272 votes were cast in total for quarterback. 47 votes, so 15% went to rusher. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. It is what it is. I mean, quarterback in any type of football you play, quarterback is the most important position. I think it's the most important position of all sports, period, not just football. But yeah. So obviously, quarterback won that vote. Another one. So one of the questions that Quaysie brought up, a really good one was should we remove the onside play? So it's either onside pass or onside run in 5v5. So we had, yes, yes, 69% to 31% said no, they don't want to get rid of the onside in 5v5. What are your thoughts about that? Okay, so yeah, so anyways, obviously, I personally think we should leave it in. So obviously, hence the no vote. Like a lot of people are saying they should leave it as is. So I'm of that feeling. Just like I feel that again, quarterback is a more important position than rusher. One thing I want to ask though, so this is gonna be the question we're gonna have for next week is what's the more important position, rusher or corner? So obviously in tackle football and even in flag, right? You have a good pass rush, it's going to help out your secondary. You have a good secondary, it's going to help out your pass rush. Same thing in flag. You have a good corner, it's going to help out your rusher. You have a good rusher, it's going to help out your corner. So what do you think is the more important position in flag? Corner, you can even put safety in there if you want, corner safety, either defensive back or rusher. So I'm gonna put a post up on Facebook. I want to get your answer to that one. Just looking at the
Brent,
Facebook.
just
Yeah,
to
sure.
answer your
Go.
question,
Go.
I would go with the community quarterback.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I know we also asked. So I'm looking at the Facebook votes as well right here. Also, they're all saying same thing. It's majority no. 87% saying no in terms of getting rid of the onside in 5v5. 12% saying
So
yes.
so to kind of talk about that like really fast,
Mhm.
like I just feel like when you're playing 5v5 with the FPF rule that we have onside kick, like I understand it and it does change so much of the game and it gives you hope if you're down by two touchdowns, like there's
Mhm.
still hope, right? You score one, then you go on side kick and then you score again and then all of a sudden you're instead of being down by 14 with 2 minutes left, you're down by two with one play left. You're going for two to try to tie it. But
Mhm.
when you go to other competitions and you go to compete, when you're down by 14 points, there's no onside kick in the back of your pocket. Like when you're playing
Sure.
the 5v5, like when you go competitive, it's
Yeah.
like that. And it's like to a point where you're not learning to a way where if you're it's like there's no learning experience here like a lot of teams, don't get me wrong, a lot of teams when you're down by 14, like it's hard for you to even come back. But when you're playing competitive and you're playing for those 5 on 5 competitions, like when you're down by 14, you're the game's over. Like you
Right.
score, the other
Right.
team
Right.
gets the
Right. Right.
ball, there's it's
Yeah.
over after that. It kind of gives you like false hope when you go to certain tournaments. So that's my biggest issue about the rule, and that's why I'm the one that kind of even said like I went to Jeff and I said maybe you want to take it away for the teams that do play competitive and you do, so you're gonna have that experience because a lot of these teams that are playing FBF, it's to kind of get experience when you want to go travel and you want to play versus teams in the
Sure.
states, or you want to go play
Yeah.
that where you're trying to learn and understand new things, right? You're trying to get better, you're trying to do that, but you don't have that level that privilege for the onside kick. So, but I understand it. The onside kick is amazing. Like I've won games for it, and I've
Mhm.
lost games for it, and it doesn't make a big change. But just to the fact, sometimes it gives you false hope when you go to certain places.
No, 100%, 100%. I just think it's something. It was a new wrinkle brought into FPF for 6 on 6, and obviously it went to 5v5. Something different. I mean, I was of the thinking maybe it should be two onside kicks per game. I remember talking to Iggy about that. He said no, it has to be one, if not none, none at all. He's actually thinking none, but some people love it, some people don't. I'm down with keeping it for all divisions and all
It
circumstances,
just
but that's just me.
it makes it more exciting.
Yeah, well, that's it. Exactly,
That's the biggest
exactly,
thing. It makes it more
exactly.
exciting because it's like, okay, we're down by 13,
Mhm.
guys. Don't worry, we're still in it. A lot of times when you're down by 13, and like when we had the 5 plays going, right, that
Mhm.
was kind of point. Like there's no like now we have the time management, but
Exactly,
when you're down by
exactly.
13 with 5 plays left, like the game's
Yeah.
over. Like the refs are there, they're whistling, everyone's going home. It's the party's done. Now you're down by
Um,
13, and you have the back of your head, the offense, the back of their
yeah.
head. They're like, okay, let's score onside kick. We score, we go for two, win the game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Before
Again,
it was like,
more
and then
exciting.
on defense wise, okay, guys, they have an onside kick, they can still win the game. We have to play defense. We
Yeah,
still
yeah.
have to, like no, as they said, like wherever everyone's always said, there's no lead is safe.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
that's it. That's
so
it. That's it.
that's the good thing about it. But it's just me. It's just me. I'm looking a bit forward when it goes to bigger competitions, like for a lot of people that do compete in them, it gives you false hope. Like I remember I forgot what term I was with Kevin, and we were asking if there were like there's no onside kick here, like as a joke to the refs, and they're like no, and we kind of were laughing about it. But
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I think it's going to be here to stay, but we'll see what happens.
mhm.
All right, quickly, shout out to the senior men's national team and the senior women's national team. The men going 4-0, knocking off, I think we said earlier, Team USA, then knocked off Japan twice, and Great Britain slash UK. Ladies going 3-1, victories over Japan, Britain as well. Germany, a close, heartbreaking loss, 26-22 to Team USA.
Where they
Obviously, a lot
lost
of
the
people.
last play.
Yeah, well, there you go, right? So a lot of people are going to be expecting for the gold medal in 2028. It's going to be probably Team USA, Team Canada in both women's and men's. So again, a really great
As it
showing by
should,
both teams. Yeah, as it
as it
should. Yeah,
as it
I mean,
should be like
listen.
that.
I mean, listen. There's Mexico. There's a lot of other countries. I don't want to throw any shade on other countries, but it should be Canada and USA, like you're saying. But there's a lot of time between now and 2028. Anyways, congrats to all the players that took part, but specifically for this purpose, all the players in FPF that took part on both sides for the men's and women's team in LA this past weekend. Phenomenal job.
Yep.
All right. So for me, that's it. Anything else, Quaysie, quickly before we sign off?
No, well, the last thing to do, just to let everyone know, we have the seniors, men and females, on July 4th and July 4th and July 6th. It's probably going to be the best competition of flag that you're going to get inside Canada. As I said before, as Lory kind of said, that there isn't going to be co-ed this competition, but there's still 40 teams that are signed up for the competition. So it's going to be a lot of talent. I know a lot of teams on FPF have signed up a team. So if you have nothing to do on the Friday, I believe now it's going to be Saturday, Sunday. So you have nothing to do on Saturday, Sunday. You want to see some kind of competitive football. Tune in. It's at Claude Robillard, so right next to College Grasset, and it should be a lot of fun.
All right, so there you have it. Check it out. If you're not playing, at least go check it out and watch some good ball. All right, so this will do it for the latest episode of Flat Plus Football's First and Goal podcast. For Quaysie, Gordon, Mom, Brent, Bodkin saying thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time. We apologize again. Thank you to Lory Oullette who came on to the show. We apologize. We're supposed to have another guest. A little technical difficulties on his end. Hopefully, we'll try and get him on next week, or if not, later in the season. But again, big shout out, big thank you to Lory for coming on. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.